One of the greatest ports in Calradia is the beautiful city of Danustica. Long an imperial fief, this city is now proudly governed by the Banu Azwahir, an emerging clan of the Aserai, founded by Hafiz Wazu, a peasant farmer turned nobleman and emir of the Sultan Unqid. This massive and beautiful city is nestled amongst the soft sandstone hills of the Calcea Seas, and its Mediterranean climate is beloved by its people. Sunshine is the prevailing weather feature here, as clouds are uncommon and storms are even more rare. For Mata, the governing leader of the Banu Azwahir, storm clouds weren't just building, though, they were beginning to suffocate the entire clan. Her ruthless and aggressive sister Ruwa had been banished from the court and married to a dishonorable and obscure Southern Empire lord, but it was the battlefield failures that had left Mata without confidence in her capacity to lead. The most recent disaster was another failed attempt to stop the Vlandian tide. Despite a combined army over 3,000 strong and sharp field command, Mata and the Aserai nobility were forced to retreat in the face of an overwhelming Vlandian host, and Mata returned to Danustica in deep shame. For the third time, a large force led by Mata had been unable to defeat the Vlandian hordes. Mata, alone and despairing for answers, began to wonder if her sister had been right all along. Had she been the wrong choice to lead the clan? Had the defensive and consolidating campaign against the enemies been a failure of strategy? After many hours of contemplation, Mata finally came to the answer. She was not the one to lead her people to victory. She would advocate power and offer the throne to her mother Arwa. But she never got the chance. On a clear winter night in 1107, Mata, the leader of the Banu Azwahir, was assassinated by a single thrown knife of Corvagian origin. These rare knives were usually ceremonial weapons of the Beni Zilal, a fanatical tribe of religious zealots from the southwest. Later, an official inquiry was made by the Banu Atarai, the city security forces, but there was no need in the opinion of Arwa and other high nobility. They all knew with near certainty that the assassination had been carried out by Ruwa, Mata's exiled sister. Only later did they find out that she had thrown the knife with her own hand. Arwa chose her son Cole to rule in the wake of the murder, hoping to restore faith across the city. But in the days that followed, ripples of unrest deepened in the city and the surrounding countryside. Huge parties of bandits came together to ravage villagers and waylay caravans. Some of these bands were hundreds strong and had organized and militaristic structures. The very fabric of society was breaking down as mankind's worst emotions moved to the forefront. Anger, greed, and worst of all, fear. Scum Western Empire motherfuckers raiding our villages and shit like that. I'm not gonna catch them. And you know, I realize it's necessary here to give you guys an update, of course, on what's happened. Mata, officially, you know, the state, the kingdom is saying she died in battle. The traditional propaganda you see by a state while they're investigating an assassination, they will say that they died of some other way so as to cover the tracks and provide a little dignity to the dead. So Mata officially killed in battle, even though as the storyline reveals, she was probably killed by Ruwa, her sister. Her sister, of course, was exiled. So the Aserai, we have this little pocket of the map down here. It's kind of the southeast corner, although it's kind of the east, as the Southern Empire is still a major threat. There's all kinds of castles from other kingdoms mixed in our midst here, and that'll be early priority here in this episode. Unqid, of course, can't have enough war against the Sturgeons. He literally just declared peace against them, and 2 days later he has like an apoplectic fit and declares war again on them. So we're at war with a lot of different kingdoms. Vlandia Vlandia, Southern Empire, Western Empire, and Sturgia. Now, Cole is the new protagonist for this campaign. A little bit like the Game of Thrones, I want you to know that you can never get too comfortable with one person or another being alive in this campaign, right? We can kill people off. When you're writing your own story, you can do this kind of thing. Cole, of course, is kind of weak, right? He just came out of the academy, so to speak. He just came out of the Aserai West Point, and even though he has lots of focus points and skill points, he has a lot of battle still to do. This is one of his new brothers. This guy looks like a diplomat, but look at his stats, right? This guy is very soon to be a mass murdering Aserai force. This is going to be one of our vital lieutenants in this campaign. Now, Cole is seeking Ruwa, right? As is the entire Aserai kingdom. They at least want to question her. They want to question the Southern Empire. This cruel, vicious, probably murdering sister of Mata is highly wanted. So let me show you some diplomacy here. Also show you some of the kings and queens that are still alive. It's kind of amazing. So of course Vlandia is the powerhouse, right? By far the strongest. Look at their towns and castles, right? 24 towns and 32 castles, and we have 5 and 3. So they are manifestly a monstrous force in this campaign. Look at Manchug is still alive. So is Caladog. So is Rajea. Somehow all of these people are aging well, right? They're eating their fish and taking their supplements, all aging well into their 60s. And of course their steward skill is just rocketing. That must be happening from the strength and AI mod. I don't have another explanation for it. I have not done any editing myself. So we're 1 companion over, and this happens because Mata had perks that allowed us to get up to 10 companions, and of course Cole doesn't have those perks. So that'll become something we have to deal with. The army's in decent shape. I did make a snafu, of course, when Mata was killed off. I was a little bit careless. For those wondering, yes, I just ran her out there into battle with the Death for All mod cranked up to high. It took about 10 trips before she died. You can't actually have your characters assassinated. So we killed her off, and I realized I lost all the equipment, right? It was kind of a snafu. We probably lost $500,000 dinars in equipment and horses and food and whatnot, but we're going to roll with it, right? We're just going to roll with the punches here. Now, Vlandia, look at this fucking juggernaut. I mean, it's almost unbelievable, right? When in doubt, zoom out, and they still have almost half the map. I want to give you these overviews every once in a while, right? Britannia is still alive. Western Empire is doing pretty well. Southern Empire is pretty hampered, and the Northern Empire is really staggering. They don't have a single city, in fact. Sturgia's doing pretty well. Because most of the kingdoms are just kind of holding on, and Vlandia, the tide, is just overtaking everything. All right, so let's talk some strategy here, right? Of course, one of the first things, we've got to clean up these castles deep in our midst here. Cole is going to be in charge of the campaign, at least for now, right? You guys are always going to be on the edge of your seat in the campaign, right? I'm never going to kind of leave you knowing what's going to happen. This campaign may end badly. That's just the reality of both life and potentially this campaign, right? Our enemies are fucking juggernaut. And see, here we go. So we're going to lose a companion. I think it'll do it randomly. We got all kinds of problems. I got money problems. Look at how weak he is, 115 hit points. We lost a bunch of equipment, so we're moving slowly. We lost a bunch of troops, too. I kind of butchered the process of getting rid of Mata, but it was necessary for the storyline here. Hopefully you fellas are enjoying the little storyline with the campaign. I think it's imperative to have a nice storyline if you guys are going to watch hours upon hours of the same campaign. So let's take a look. There's Sturgeon. I got this surgeon and this guy, this scholar. I think we're going to let him go. He's got all this fancy equipment. We're going to go ahead and send him back to the tavern exactly how he looked when he came into our party. He can have a battered fucking shirt, battered leather fucking suit, and we will take all his elite equipment before telling him we don't need your services anymore. And the only reason we're doing this is that he's probably the least valuable companion we have. He's relatively new, and we've got to get rid of one of them, right? Otherwise, you will randomly lose one of them if you are over the limit. I've experienced that before and lost a high-level companion. It's painful. All right, so there we go. We're set for companions. It's time to besiege a couple of these castles here. There's another Aserai army. We don't have a lot of influence. We have a decent-sized little army here, but Cole he's kind of got his training wheels on, right? His weapon skills are going to be sad. His ability to command is going to be sad. And of course, I don't mean his tactics. I'm running his tactics. But his medicine skill and leadership and siege and all these different things are not going to be good for a little while. It's almost like a reset for the campaign as Cole learns the ropes. Okay, so they're sieging the Sturgeon Castle. We take this one. You guys get the Sturgeon Castle, and the Aserai homeland at least will start to be patched together. You can see we're getting all kinds of perk points here from Cole, and it's going to happen rapidly, right? Because he has so many focus points and attribute points, he's going to gain skills massively quickly. Shibboleth Zoomer is under siege by the Aserai. I'm still scoreboard watching, right? Because I'm curious to see, like, if the Vlandian forces are ever defeated. Now, this I'm going to do occasionally. That was a little bit painful, but I am going to auto-resolve, especially Cole's first battle. We don't need to have some ghetto little castle siege. Hopefully his first battle is something where he can actually perform well and look like a future leader of this clan. Right, just like any new leader, he's anxious to prove his worth, anxious to show how brave and all the other shit he is. So we're not going to have him have his first little battle, so to speak, on film, be this little weak-ass castle. So they're taking Shibboleth Zoomer. Onira's under siege. I guess let's head there and defend that. You know, there's a chance that's that Aserai, or not the Aserai, that Vlandian fuck force. Let's see if we get any castles. They have not been voting us, of course. Castles or cities. You guys are, the struggle is real. You guys are aware of this, right? You just almost never seem to get castles or cities. Sometimes I get like every other one, and it's been a while. We've got one castle, I think, in the last 8 or 9 votes. So the Vlandians are up here. Of course, if you didn't see the episode 2 or 3 episodes ago, we got mangled pretty badly by the Vlandians at Calradia Castle. That was kind of the battle that pushed things over the edge for Mata. And we have to get back in that direction to see if this is more Vlandian fucks. Who is this? Hello. This is a good-looking gal here. Okay. I'll be looking for her dad at some point. We need to marry off some of these companions, right? That's part of the process. So we got to find Adas at some point. Guzid. I definitely want this guy in the army, right? He's going to be a friend in this campaign. I just think he looks like a fucking badass war veteran. Anytime I can bring him into the army, we're going to. Now, I have to be careful with the influence. You can see the number down there. We only have 685. He's not going to be gaining it very quickly, and I'm spending 300 here to gather a huge force. And it's a bit of a gamble. I don't know if there's 700 troops at Onira or 2,700, right? It might be that giant Vlandian force. If it is that Vlandian force, we have to defend it. For some reason, I don't have a message telling me who's attacking there, so we got to investigate. Vlandia is actually being attacked by the XXIII, which is good. At least somebody else is helping us against this juggernaut. I guess we can load up some troops here from Danustica. Who knows what's there? I'm just going to assume they have 2,000 or 3,000 troops, right? That's how it's been in this campaign, and it's not 2,000 normal troops. They have an obscene amount of high-end troops, especially Vlandia. It seems like they have 900 cavalry. And I mean all Banner Knights and Vanguard, right? Elite cavalry. So Cole does have a bit of a personality, and I'll be bringing up little elements of his personality, right? We're role-playing some more here. Oh, beautiful. I lost some equipment, but at least Mata put that in the stash. We spent a fortune on that piece of armor. He's got decent equipment, and of course his skill set sucks. So as we develop his skill set, we'll be getting him better equipment. Okay, we've got to dump off some of these characters to some of these other companions here, and we will be on our way. I really hope it's not like 600 forces of, you know, whatever, like Northern Empire, because I would have gathered this huge army for no reason. And as you know, of course, not only does it take a huge amount of influence to raise such a large army like this, we're going to have like 2,500 troops maybe. But it's also incredibly difficult to maintain this kind of an army, right? You have to spend a huge amount of influence. You're in the tent at night, like each night with all these lords being like, I really am a good leader. You should trust me, right? I guess you're using all of your influence is kind of the idea behind that little game mechanic. All right, we've got our 3 companions. We've got 1,100 troops, but we have at least 1,000 other troops coming our direction here. So let's go see what we got going on here. Oh, this is a new feature. Just for a little while, I'm playing around with this mod. This is sort of simulating that with the chaotic leadership, gigantic rebel forces of looters and brigands and forest bandits will be present on the map. Now, I'm not going to be taking advantage of these to farm unless they attack us or they're in the way. Like if they attack our units here while we're gathering an army, we will destroy these looters. Obviously, we could just farm them all day. What we're going to be doing with them, though, is just introducing them for a little while. I can explain that mod a little bit more. It's just called Dangerous Bandit Parties. And I want it to sort of simulate that the entire kingdom, or at least the Aserai kingdom, is under a state of unrest, right? There's these giant brigand parties running around rampaging, sacking cities, or sacking villages at least, and looting and rampaging on caravans. There's only one. Oh, okay. It's Sturgia, oddly enough. So Sturgia is here. I thought this would be Vlandia. Evidently, Sturgia considers us a foe. They're close enough. The Sturgeons have been making a massive insurgence from the north, of course, and they have now pushed all the way down to Oneira. So while I would rather this have been the Vlandians to destroy and avenge Mata's defeats, we will fight. Right? We're definitely not just going to let these fucks take Oneira. And of course, look at their armies. You see the cavalry number? 400 cavalry, right? 328, and this one has 540. Look at how many Dreadzinix champions. I don't know if you saw that. Look at this. There are 250 Dreadzinix champions in one army, and there are 2 armies. So they're, you know what? Their whole first wave might be heavy cavalry, might be 700 or whatever, 600 Tier 6 nobles charging right at us. We're almost evenly matched here. Ordinarily, you know, in a campaign like that, I would say, well, we crush them in this battle. But these are not your normal troops we're facing, right? We're facing incredibly high-end lords. I'm going to try to do... I'm going to try to do one of these companion sections again, probably at the end of this episode. We'll kind of see how the flow of this goes. But I want to spend another 15 minutes talking about character specs and what we're planning on doing with this guy and that guy. Our family and clan is up to about 15 companions and family members. Fuck, they're just dumping us in here again. I can't believe they don't give us time. We got 28,000 troops here. And they just consider us like a supplementary part of this battle. I know the idea is that the battle's ongoing and we don't get to sit. It doesn't make any sense. If there's a battle that was ongoing, they'd be fucking busy with each other and we'd have all the time in the world to assign our divisions and stuff like that. But we'll make do. The system is bad. Those aren't my troops. They're just running off. And those fucks are the reason why I can't set up my units, because there's 26 guys from the garrison helping here. So we will adapt on the fly. Let's get Cav divisions set there. I've got this hill set here, this hill. We might be able to do a little bit of a combination of a pincher and a reverse slope decline. It's not a true reverse slope decline unless the enemy comes over it. But a blind like that, where the enemy has to come around the corner, can be just as effective, right? If I put these units and archers, the 1st and 6th back here behind this rock wall, the enemy will have to come over or around that hill to get to us. And if they have lots of heavy cav, obviously they're going to be completely compacted. We're just using the terrain here. So let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here. This fucking Sturgeon force. I don't bring up the status menu. Guys are sometimes surprised. That's just how I play. It is a fuckload of cavalry. I think it's either all or almost all cavalry. So here's what I want to do here. I've got a cav division over here. We're going to sort of skirmish with the enemy, but then we're eventually going to pincher. Fuck, they are getting behind. Let's get in the 8th Corps over there. We can send a cav division over there just to kind of keep that backside occupied. We can't have the enemy just storming through and stomping our archers. We've got about 100 archers in this battle. It's not as many as I want. But that is one of the personalities of Cole, that he thinks archery is a little bit cowardice, right? He still uses archery, but he would prefer that his men slug it out like real warriors. Look at how badly jammed up they are on this rock wall, right? And these cavalrymen become fish in a barrel. The javelins are just raining in behind me here. I can fire some into their packed ranks, and the Sturgeons are going to have a very difficult time getting around the edge of this hill. Now, what I'd like to do is sort of bait them in at times and then trap them and crush them against the cliffs here. Basically, sort of funnel them around the edges of those hillside here, and then as they get kind of all tangled up there, bring our forces in and just like grapple with them and hold them down, while the rest of our infantry and shock troops and whatnot maul them. So shock troops is one of Cole's favorite weapons, right? We're role-playing, of course. Cole likes to use shock troops. He likes to use two-handed weapon guys. He considers them, the true savage warriors on the battlefield. And so we're going to be using a little bit more palace guards, a little bit more axemen, at least while Cole is in charge. You never know how long that's going to be. Obviously, Mata's death is contrived, right? I made that happen, but we're also going to have deaths on the battlefield, including maybe even the main protagonist in the story. All right, so let's totally bind these guys up. You can see how fucking bound up they are. They got cavs surrounding them. On the other side, there's infantry boring in, and so all these cavalrymen have lost their speed advantage, right? Normally they need to move fast to really do any damage here, and they're not going to be able to, right? We're just not going to fight these guys in the open. We're going to make them come to us. Look at all these guys. These are all cons guards. And this is a function of two things. It's a function of the strength and AI mod, but also our enemies are upgrading troops at an incredible rate, right? They are winning battles left and right, and when that happens, of course, your troops upgrade, just like your own armies. We're going to reset here, by the way. I'm just pulling my troops back around the edge of this hill. I've got... Oh, actually, you know what? They're still bundled up. Charge these bitches. We'll get a few more licks in here before we decide to pull back. I don't want to go way around the edge of that hill until it's clear we have a huge advantage, and I don't feel that's the case yet. Cole is neither highly aggressive nor as pacifist slash deliberate as his sister Mata. He's kind of in between. And of course his personality will form throughout this campaign. I like to have a little character development both on a role-playing level and a character spec level. Cole's going to use a two-handed weapon, a sword, shield, and javelins, right? He's a little bit of a variant of Wazu, right? He's going to have, well, right now his skills all suck, but he's eventually going to become an all-around good warrior. All right, this is messy. The death spam is good. As long as I see nice green death spam, though, I'm not willing to leave. And I don't see a bunch of enemy infantry. I see some, but mostly I see cavalry just getting slaughtered here. I mean, they are penned up. They can't move. And you know what happens when a cavalryman standing like that runs into a Manavliaton? He gets Manavliatoned, right? He gets fucking hammered over and over again by a giant wedge. Now over here, this is just a little defensive positioning, trying to protect what archers we have. We have 3 cav divisions, and so I'm using 2 to attack and 1 to play defense surrounding our archers. Our archers can't shoot anything right now, of course, because they're out of line of sight, and I don't want the enemy cav just skewering them over and over again, right? So it's essentially like they're in a bodyguard situation, right? I've got some of those cavalry just protecting our archers for the next phase, and this battle obviously is nowhere near over. See, the archers are in there protected by that ring. It doesn't make them invulnerable. It just dramatically decreases the amount of death they'll suffer. Why? Because the enemy cavalry is slowed down dramatically when they get to those archers, right? They're not at a full gallop, just running through there, spearing guys and one-shotting your archers. And the death spam looks very good, right? Our shock troops, Cole's shock troops, we may eventually have a name for these savage bad boys. The Seattle Seahawks from the National Football League, American football, they were named the Legion of Boom like 10 years ago for their defense. That kind of seems like an early good name, although these guys don't swing hammers. I like the sound of that, right? The Legion of Boom. I've got very few horse archers. We're getting some reinforcements in, which is good, but that also means we're suffering losses. What I'm worried about is the enemy's main infantry and archer lines. They're coming, right? This is just their cavalry at the beginning. If you don't know, the system generally runs the highest level troops first. And since they have so many elite tier 5 or tier 6 units, shit, fuckers. They have almost entirely cavalry here at the beginning. I do see some death spam from archers now and shock troops, so they're getting a mix of troops coming in, and we need to prepare for that. See, I've got a mix. God, this shit keeps happening. My second division is mixed between archers and cavalry. That's happening because of the battle size mod. Of course, if you're wondering, we are using the battle size mod still. That means 2,000 units on the battlefield. That's why if it feels like the most units you've ever seen on a Bannerlord battle, I can't even move. That's what's going on. Look at all these guys. There's horse archers and cavalry jammed in here. It's actually a little bit of a mess for me, the commander. I'm trying to sort my units, and some of the units have become mixed, and it's a little bit, I feel a little bit like I'm trying to fly during the holidays, and there's just fucking travelers and fucking rude people all over the place. Get the fuck out of my way before I start throwing javelins at you. Can't even move my units around. So a little bit of housework here as we clean up our divisions, but I'm going to continue to use this edge here. What I mean by the edge is the edge of those cliffs. The enemy has to come around to get to us, and if they pull up a static position, we will adjust. As long as they're coming to us, let's let them, right? Let's let them be the ones making the mistakes. So cav line here playing defense. I've got infantry and whatnot moving behind them. And the purpose of that cav line is basically to protect those guys, give them a little layer, give them a little corridor to run and go to their reinforcement spot. They would do the same thing in the Civil War. They would have what are called interior lines where the railroads were shuttling troops, and usually those were protected, right, so that you could move your troops around. You would intentionally put troops in defensive positioning ahead of those railroads so that you could move your troops safely. We've got a gigantic couple of divisions. We've got a massive amount of troops on the battlefield now. But that also means so does the enemy. These cavalry are unfortunately mixed with the archers, and there's no way for me using the system UI. F3, F5 doesn't work. I can't split these guys. So what we're going to do here is just sort of open up a little window for these archers to shoot. You see them firing away in this little corridor, and what's beautiful about this is no enemy archers can shoot these guys. They're completely safe, at least until the enemy archers come around that edge. Holy shit, that's a lot of guys in the 6th Division. 200 infantry. So we're going to countercharge these guys here, but we want them to come in, right? They're getting shot by our archers, although the death spam doesn't look good right now. I can't tell who attacked me there. I got to turn up. I apologize for this. Every once in a while, this setting gets kind of low, and unfortunately, I have to do it right in the middle of battle. I know it's kind of immersion breaking, but I can't actually see the little orb of color over who's fucking ally and who's not. Almost more alarming is the death spam. I thought our formation here would do really well, but we're kind of getting our asses kicked. There's a lot of death. I think it's time to just bore in here with these infantry lines and just kind of hope we can start to push the enemy back. This is part of the problem. I've got this gigantic mixed division back here. Let's just tell these boys to charge. I'm going to join my men on foot. Cole likes to fight on foot. Wazu is a horse guy. Cole likes being in the trenches with his men, right? Let's get up here and fucking smash some of these bitches, these fucking sturgeons. This is our fucking land. Well, I mean, okay, you're right. Actually, Southern Empire land, but this is our rightfully, we stole this land rightfully first. Bitches, this is ours, right? So Cole, even though he's kind of weak, he's going to fight in the trenches. This may result in his death, right? This is just one of the things that happens in a campaign. Happens in real life. It's going to happen potentially in this campaign. Doesn't mean I'm going to be suiciding him. We're going to be whipping out our shield and shit, right? When there's a whole bunch of archers like that, let's stick cav in their face and whip out our shield. And now we're going to bore in. Look at our infantry boring in on those archers. Because they had to come up to shoot, they ran right into our shock troops. Charge them, bitches. Kill them all, right? These archers, if we blow these archers out, we may even advance and move our archers up to the top hillside here. We've got to blow these archers out of the way first, though. Oh, man, look at our guys here just eating. Now, I got to be careful here because, of course, you go over this ridge and you get shot, right? Suddenly you become a target. So I think we'll stand right at the edge of this ridge here. Get back, legionary. Motherfucker. You don't know who you're attacking. So just kind of holding the edge here, and our archers are doing good work. They're kind of moving up and don't have a target, and I'm not quite ready yet to go around the corner of this, right? I'm not sure if we have the forces to overwhelm the enemy, so what are we going to do? Right, we're going to play a little cautious. This is that mix of Mata and Wazu. Cole is more pragmatic. He's more intelligent with his decisions, right? He's not making overly cautious moves, but he's also not making overly aggressive moves, right? When you don't have to advance, don't, right? There's a time to advance, and sometimes it's obvious. Right now, to me, it's not obvious, so we'll pull back. Now, we are going to start spreading our archers out here because our archers now outnumber the enemy archers. We'll give them a cav division and protection. That'll help them fend off enemy archers, enemy arrows, and also we can move that cav division up and sort of make it a sleight of hand archery attack. These two infantry divisions, I'm just pulling them back in squares here because they don't have a target to attack. And of course, I don't want them getting stabbed by cavalry. Just giving them strength in numbers. We've got a ton of infantry here. As soon as we annihilate this next sturgeon wave, I think it's time to charge. I'm going to try to get a better view here. Of course, I can't climb here. The sturgeons are filtering in. These guys are dead, man. Attack that square. Let's move the square. If we pull the square to the enemy's right, that'll totally expose them to archers and these shock troops here. Let's get these guys moved up. The 7th Division is horse archers and archers. Sturgeons are trickling in. I can't believe we're suffering the death that we are. It really seems like the enemy should be getting pulverized. Of course, Cole swings his axe slow. That's going to change over the next months and weeks and months. All right, these guys here, these sturgeons that followed that square are swallowed up now by these guys. The rest of their forces are kind of on the far side of the battlefield there. I think once we pulverize a hole here, it's going to be time to take the aggressor. They have a lot of archers there again, but they have infantry moving up, right? Let's kill these infantrymen first, and then we can push in hard on these archers, wipe them out. It's mostly infantry. Oh, shit. Help me out, fellas. It's mostly infantry moving up. Okay, they are reforming. Okay, let's aggressively move in. When the enemy reforms and right in your face like this, charge aggressively. Right, this enemy is literally right in front of us and they're reforming. Let's make them pay for this shit. Fucking you treasonous Aserai veteran infantryman, right? This guy here, we're gonna string him up by his toes. Start spreading out archers. I've got 2 different archer wings to play with, so I can do the... Now, once we get over the hill, we're going to pull on the right here. But for now, let's just use this big open field on the left. Our infantry and cav are just plowing the road. This is definitely an opportunity for shield and shock, right? Where we lead with cavalry and then have our infantry follow and just swallow everything up. Yeah, see, look at these guys. Let's get these guys up on this hill and they can start firing down into the enemy's ranks. We got the enemy on the ropes here. I am going to do this occasionally, even in giant epic battles like this. And I'm just getting comfortable using the RTS mod. If you guys hate it, speak up in the comments, right? Let me know, and I will slow the battles down. Now here, I'm just going to explain what I'm doing as we do it. The cav, you can see it. A bunch of camels and cavalry is leading the way for our infantry. And I do that so that if there's any arrows flying at us, those cavalry and camels take the majority of the blame. The majority of the arrows. I got distracted by that horse being rocketed to... He's just landed now out in the field. All right. We got the enemy on the ropes for sure here. Let's get these archers moved up aggressively on the enemy's flanks. The enemy still has like 600 troops here, right? So it's going to take some work. We've got this 4th Corps, all these horse archers. These guys are probably just better off charging. They're like in my way and shit. Get in there. We'll send them in manually. Again, we're pushing in with that 3rd Corps, and I'm not telling it to attack the enemy. I'm physically pushing it past the enemy ranks because I want it effectively interrupting all their archers, getting in the way, knocking guys over. Behind it is the real killing power, right? This infantry division, look at the arrows raining over my head here. How beautiful is that, right? There's just volleys pouring over the enemy ranks. Now our infantry division just reached their infantry, and Cole wants some blood, right? This guy, this is his first major battle in charge, and he seeks blood. He swings his axe like a bitch. Okay, see those archers? He just put a giant batch of camels right in their face again. Get up here. Hurry the fuck up. You guys are taking forever. But we've got the infantry advantage now, I think. And we're just going to bore in. We'll see. This might be a mistake. We might get pounded back. But I like the death spam. And I also like this cavalry division coming up, right? There's more cavalry reinforcements coming up. Archers are now absolutely strafing the enemy here on the left. On the enemy's left. We got some horses to chop down here, right? Cole can get his cherry popped when it comes to fucking mauling infantrymen. Bitch slap some fucking archers. Yeah, they always take it personal. They chase after you. They're like, motherfucker, that hurt. Bitch slap me with your shield. All right, we're in the trenches here, right? We're still fighting for our life, and the death for all mod is active. What does that do? It doubles the rate of death from normal Bannerlord, and it's customizable. I may eventually make it 5 or 10 times the normal rate, because this kind of battle in real, I mean, imagine in real life, just swinging your axe as hard as you can at somebody and hit them over the head, they dead. There's no injured. He's not like coming back next week, right? They get dismembered. And of course, in Bannerlord, you can dismember guys, and they get up and fight next week. Cut off their heads, mow down some line breakers. His skill is going up every kill. I'm looking down, 2 points of two-handed, 2 points in athleticism. So very quickly here, Cole is going to become a lethal fighting force, or he's going to get killed. Right, trial by fire, and this Sturgeon force is destroyed. I wish it were the Vlandians. Of course, we want revenge on the Vlandians. We want revenge against Ruwa, but we will take it, right? Cole's first victory here. It's a fucking cinematic scene here. In fact, I don't do this very often. I'd say I would apologize, but I'm just going to do this. This only takes a second, using the old photo mode here. If you're ever wondering how I take screenshots for everything from like the thumbnails to battle scene shots, that's how I do it. That saved 1,200 casualties is a lot, but we still had 1,000 troops survive, so we had about a 2-to-1 KDR. We will take that against an elite force. Cole's fucking list of perks is a giant long stack. And this is even more beautiful, right? All these prisoners completely restocks our ranks here, and now we can load up on prisoners. In fact, we get a little caffeine here. I'm sure some of the guys are like, man, this guy's already talking so fast. That's the last thing he needs is more caffeine. I had a guy say that he actually watches these episodes on 2x speed, like 2 times the normal speed. I don't know how you can possibly understand my language speaking like this. Okay, we're going to go over this castle. We're going to siege. Oh, wait, we got to go back here and install inventory. It would be like, you wouldn't be able to understand it. We got some good gear, actually. Some legendary lamellar shit. Some pretty good looking stuff here. And I won't speak too fast like that, fellas. Trust me. Although, the old caffeine, right? It speeds up everything. It speeds up your bladder. It speeds up your heart rate. It speeds up your brain. And it speeds up how quickly you talk. All right, so the next objective here, I think I'm going to have a little bit of editing here, because I got to dump some reinforcements in here at Oneira, and then we'll figure out what to do next. Although I got to be honest, Cole is very fuming, angry, devious fellow right now. There could be some violence coming up in this episode. Can add some charge damage here. I like the headshot perk. You know what, too? I sort of promised I would do this later, so let's leave some of that for the later part of this episode. Restock the garrison there. Zuad down here. That's the gal with the gorgeous green eyes. She's working down there. And are we at war with the Southern Empire? Okay, we are not. We're still going to head there, though. We're not at war with the Southern Empire. We're at war with 4 other kingdoms. And Cole is going to march this vast army towards Physion. And you might be wondering, what the fuck are you doing? You better fight one of the 4 kingdoms that you're at war with. Well, I don't know if we can have to imagine the emotions behind a brother who sees his sister assassinated by this vile Ruwa. Cole wants revenge. She's at Physion. She's pregnant. The internal investigation didn't reveal anything authoritatively as to who killed Mata, but as the cutscene said, we know it's her, right? We know she's the one who killed Mata. Ruwa is the assassin. Cole wants revenge. So we may not be at war with the Southern Empire, but we're gonna be after we assassinate and behead one of their noble women. Oh shit. Onira is under siege, besieged by the Vlandians. Well, she gets an execution stay reprieve by the governor here, saved by the Vlandians, because we have to deal with this Vlandian force. I wonder if this is those Vlandian forces that defeated Mata and have been rampaging around this area. It seems like the Vlandian forces are never defeated. They are just so powerful. And you know what? We're gonna let's recruit to the edge of madness here, right? We have to win a battle here against the Vlandians. We've got almost 2,000 troops, but the last time we faced them, I think we had 3,000 and we still lost. So it is them too. You motherfucking Vlandians. I mean, they are conquering the whole map. We're not having it anymore. 1,800. We're quite injured. In fact, most of our best infantry is injured. But if they'll start wearing this garrison out. But I've got 3 other things I want to do. We're gonna play a little bit mad here. Cole is an intelligent leader, but like any human, right? He is prone to anger, and when you're angry, you don't think logically, right? When people road rage and get 30 years in prison because some guy cut him off on the highway, like whoop-de-doo, Cole wants vengeance here, right? These Vlandian fucks have got to go. So in we go here. We're going to play a little bit risky here, right? Cole is young. Cole is aggressive. He's got the confidence of youth. And more importantly, too, I think Cole has a secret weapon. And of course, I'm playing Cole. We're going to try more shock troops against these Vlandians, right? We're going to see what these horse boys think of palace guards and elite Manavletons pounding their ass. Now, not all of our palace guards are healthy. In fact, a lot of Coles are injured. But we probably still have 70 or 80. We'll take a look here in a minute at the 3rd Corps. So the 3rd Corps is shock troops. The 6th is skirmishers, and the 1st is spear infantry. And the 3rd is the division that we're counting on to devastate cavalry like this battle. They're led by a good captain here. Wahan the Golden leads the 2nd Division of Cavalry. Wahan the Golden is going to be a defensive captain until eventually we're going to make him a clan leader. That's some episodes out though, right? Of course, we have to have our own kingdom first. 1st Division and 6th Division behind the 2nd Cavalry here, and these guys, these divisions' jobs is to throw javelins and then countercharge any cavalry that attack the 2nd Corps in the center. What we're going to do is flank the enemy and envelop them from their right, from our left, right? We're going to have this, and look at this, most of these guys are shock troops. That 3rd Corps will be behind, let's use the 8th. The 8th is our best cavalry, so we'll put the 2nd in the center. We've got a lot of cavalry. Of course, we're using the battle size mod, right? So the enemy's going to have a gigantic amount of cavalry too. But we will flank them with this 3rd Corps, crossbow behind him, and then this 8th Corps. That's almost too many. Let's equalize this. Let's put a few more in the 2nd. The 2nd in the center has to hold, right? If the center breaks out, we can't flank them because they won't be held in place anymore. So 7th Horse Archers back here, and let's see what this looks like. It's a beautiful scene here. It's like fucking a sunrise. Another epic battle here in this early to mid-game campaign, right? These are battles that we just can't afford to keep losing. We've lost too many of these already, and Cole is ready to change all that. Get the fuck out of my way. Cole has an extraordinary temper. I will kill you fucking units if you don't get out of my way. The Vlandian forces are pouring over the hills. I see death spam, but I don't know where that's coming from. I think that's, again, allied troops that are getting slaughtered. I don't really know. I might have fucked something up. Oh boy, he throws javelins slow. This is going to take a little bit of adapting here. Of course, his javelin throwing skill is like 80, right? Oh shit, let's get the 8th pulled down over in the corner here. That's to make sure the cavalry can't charge our shock troops and crossbow. Here comes their charge. The 1st and 6th Division are just going to hold their position for now, and we're going to wrap them up with the 8th. So 3rd Corps being pulled towards the inner center. We're going to attack these guys first, these guys that are coming in on them. The enemy actually split their cavalry into 3 different wedges. Again, the enemy has almost all cavalry. So 3rd Division is told to charge. Let's start moving the 8th past the enemy, right? And what I want to happen is these cavalrymen here attacking our center. I want these guys trapped. I want these guys getting javelins thrown at them from behind, and then behind those jav cav, I want our shock troops up here just eating them for lunch. Or maybe it's a sunrise eating him for breakfast, right? We're going to do the Happy Gilmore. You're in big trouble, man. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No. All right, and we go here, the 8th Corps. Look at the death span right there. They're totally munching, right? They're definitely eating these pieces of shit for breakfast. We're happy to eat Vlandian pieces of shit for breakfast. The 3rd Corps is kind of all over the place. I wanted them following me, but I do see a lot of them right here at the edge of the enemy. And it's definitely messier than I wanted it to be. I wanted our units to be a lot more compacted than this, but we did get a really nasty flush. And look at the death span, right? It's a skewering. Of course, they're still scoring kills. They got Banner Knights and fucking Vanguard. They may not have a single unit here except for Tier 6 and Tier 5 cavalry. And again, a little bit like that Sturgeon battle, these armies just have so many elite units because they haven't been defeated that they're not even bothering with infantry and archers till their 2nd or 3rd wave. Which is really odd. And personally, I actually think that's suboptimal. I think if they had 20 sharpshooters for us to deal with here, it would give the enemy a better shot to win. But this is the way the system works, right? If you have 700 troops and you have 700 Tier 5 Banner Knights, you get those units, fuckers, you get those units before you get any of your Tier 5 sharpshooters. I gotta watch out there. Lords can one-shot Cole, right? They got 250 plus riding and polearm skill. I got to be careful. Now I got this 2nd division. I'm just going to try a little different thing here. If you have cavalry and infantry in a division, one of the things you can do is a ring, and it will put the archers at the back, right? So it kind of forms a defensive position for those units. It's not really optimal, but it's what I'm going to try here. I've got this 4th division. We can kind of put them in the center and consolidate our forces here. Again, against this many cavalry, it really behooves you to play defensive. Make them come to you and slow them down, right? Don't let them charge in at a full gallop. Two different infantry divisions. Let's just center these guys towards the front of this, towards the front and rear of this circle. We're gaining skill points left and right. Gain 3 points in two-hand and 3 points in riding. Cole's going to be a beast in like 2 episodes. Or he'll get killed. Right? We're not using our shield very much here. I'm a two-handed fan. Of course, his axe is slow. You fucking Botanian fiends. Eat shit. Alright, so the enemy does look like they're regrouping, and they do finally have some infantry and archers. We're going to deal with the cavalry that they've sent in here and then assess the rest of the situation here. I've got this huge ring of cav and archers here. It's actually way too big. Look at how big it is. It's like 400 yards across. Let's shrink this shit. It's way too big. It's kind of clumsy mid-battle to use the ring, too. 200 infantry, 140 archers. We've got one infantry division here and the other one holding the center of the circle. Let's get them both concentrated here. We're going to continue to sort of work the edges of the battlefield here and try to pick off some of these stragglers. As like any battle this size, there's all kinds of chaos at the margins of the battle, right? There's all these one-on-ones and stragglers getting mangled and horse archers attacking Javcav. All right, it's time to charge. I think they're bringing in infantry based on the death spam. Let's get one division flanking the enemy. Let's push our cav towards the center and charge with infantry. I'm going to continue to work on these stragglers, especially the Botanian Fiend fucks. They've got Botanian Fiend archers. This army is so powerful. Khans guards, Botanian Fiend champs, all kinds of tier 5 archers, master archers. This is a master archer. Botanian Fiend, Botanian Wildling. Let's get these infantrymen pushed in. This 8th Corps is actually in my way. You know what I can do here? We can just drag our guys straight through here. All their straggling units can have a giant horse in their face. A big armored horse. Very dangerous to drive into the enemy like this, but we're trying to blow a hole here for the rest of our troops to work. And of course, these guys are doing damage, right? There's like camels and shit back there running guys over. It's buying time for our units, and of course our archers are up there working. Another very messy battle, but if we can win here, I don't give a fuck how messy it is, right? This Vlandian force has been our kryptonite. Mata was never able to defeat them. And obviously, they're gonna just take over the whole map if we don't stop them here. Cole again. I like to be on foot. We're going to get our archers spread up here on the enemy's left, our right, and we're going to shield and shock again, just like the first battle. It probably feels similar to that first battle against the Sturgeons. It's a very similar force in some ways, right? They have more cavalry, for sure more cavalry, which is amazing because the Vlandians had a huge amount of cavalry. Yeah, his axe is so slow. I'm going to have to be careful here. It's probably going to get him knocked unconscious a few times. I'm going to have to do a lot of preemptive swinging with this slow boy. I might grab one of those bearded axes. They're like 100 speed or something like that. They're blazing fast, but they're short. Obviously, though, then I won't have any ability to fight on horse, right? It's so short. I might have to use the big axe and the small axe. But then you have no shield, right? It's a conundrum. This is why I had a pole arm for my other character, Zuvan. A lot of you guys are familiar with Zuvan. Well, we're gaining skill points, chopping up horses. And we're doing shield and shock here, right? Look at the death spam. The archers are working. We've got this huge line of infantry and a giant scrum in front of us. And I'm going to stay protected here, right? We're just going to chop horse meat here. Our infantry is pummeling stuff, and now we can push forward with cavalry, right? Now again, all you do is you position them in a big line right at the enemy. Now, I don't even want them to attack them. I just want them standing there, making it hard for their archers to shoot, right? Instead of them shooting and having line of sight on our infantrymen, they have a giant line of cavalry and camels and shit. Here they come, right in front of them, right? All these gillmen with these 12-foot tall fucking camels. They look hilarious. They're so tall. Now, archers are starting to flank while we're doing that, and our infantry is just mangling everything in sight. Wazu, I did it. I knew I was going to do it. Cole likes his infantry. He likes his shock troops especially. You're going to see me intentionally recruiting and speccing. When you get the skill, the unit tree type, you're going to see me choosing more and more of the Palace Guard. It's their Axemen line. I think it's their Mamluk line is how you get to it. And I will talk about troops more extensively in one of these episodes as well. Specifically the Aserai here, right? I'm not going to spend an hour talking about all the troops in Bannerlord. I'm not an expert in all of the troops in Bannerlord. But with this campaign, we're going to gain a high degree of understanding of these Aserai units. This is a little risky here, but we're just going to do some berserker shit here with Cole. He's just going to fly in here. Fortunately, these are lower level units, or at least mostly. But he needs these skill points. He needs this experience. I need it to get used to how slow his axe is, right? It still cleaves heads left and right, but you got to have your distancing and your speed down. It's very slow. But, boy, it's lethal, right? He's chopping guys and killing everybody in one shot. Boom. And I just looked up, this Vlandian force is fucking skewered. Let's make sure we don't get skewered at the end of this episode. We'll switch out to our one hand. A little bit more protection here. And, of course, we're leveling our one-handed skill, too, right? These things help. If you level your one-handed, what'll happen is you'll gain perks that help your unit, right? Even if you're in a unit with cavalry, it gives them a little better perk here and there. So, we're going to be doing lots of leveling up with Cole. Our archer division, I forgot to move him forward there. That last thrust was so overwhelmingly powerful. And vengeance, right? Revenge is achieved here for Mata. At least against the Vlandians, right? This Vlandian force that seemed unbeatable, we destroyed them in this battle. This was destruction. We had an even number of troops, and we have troops everywhere on the battlefield. I mean, we have 1,000 survivors. 1,000, right? Yeah, more than 1,000 survivors. So this counts as an overwhelming success. Cole's first two battles are major battles and major successes. Come with us. Take some beautiful, delicious... Oh, give me some sharpshooters. We would love some sharpshooters. I like shield, crossbow. Lots of prisoners here, and a big sigh of relief for me as we're finally making some progress in this brutal campaign. Do some upgrades here. Not terrific loot. You know, you'd be surprised. Sometimes the huge battles, you just get a bunch of mediocre garbage. But we need the money, so we're going to sell some shit at Oneira here. But success, right? This is an overwhelming success for us here, clearly. I've still got Rua on my mind. I'm like fuming. Literally, I'm not role-playing it. Like, I get kind of mad thinking about it. This gal assassinates the queen, assassinates the sultaness, because she wants to be in charge, right? She doesn't like how Mata is governing, and so she assassinates her. Of course, I'm aware I made this story myself, but I'm trying to put myself into the shoes of Cole, and I'm telling you, fellas, I'm legitimately getting angry thinking about it. And Cole is getting angry too. You know, I mean, obviously we could take a lot more sane approach with this campaign, but it is a campaign. One of the beautiful things with a campaign like this, you know, especially where you have a good understanding of the game, when you have good tactics and a good-sized army, right? When you're young, you can do whatever the fuck it is you want, right? And Cole, we're going to do more role-playing here. Cole, his advisors suggested he went north and attacked Vlandia, maybe into the south and reinforced down there. And Cole says, you know what? Tell the men to prepare for war. We're going to attack the Southern Empire. And of course they're like, sir, we're not at war with the Southern Empire. And Cole is like, we will be soon. Right? Basically, we're going to break some rules in this campaign. If you're a vassal in this situation, you can try to declare war. But believe me, I already looked at that. We can't do that. We don't have enough influence, and we don't have, even if we expend all our influence, I don't think we could make these guys go to war. We're at war with 4 other kingdoms. It's not logical for us to attack the Southern Empire here, especially just to get to one evil person that we're seeking revenge. But anger doesn't always follow a logical path here, right? We're going to say Cole is an intelligent, pragmatic, thoughtful fella, but he's still prone to rage, right? He's still prone to the same faults that humankind has been prone to forever. And revenge is a powerful motivator. So we're heading... Well, evidently revenge is fertile, too. His wife is pregnant again, Rayma. I don't know how much these children are going to play out in this campaign, right? I don't anticipate this campaign going another 15 to 20 years, but we shall see. But we are going to get violent here. We're going to get medieval on these asses here, right? To quote Pulp Fiction. How do we do this? Let's see. I don't even know... Maybe I can just attack their forces out in the open. I know I can raid their village if I have to. But we've got very devious plans right now. You can picture Cole is unblinkingly marching, you know, with his axe out towards Physion here. This fucking wicked sister of his who kills Mata. Cole looked up to Mata, right? Mata was this sister figure in his life. And Cole is very angry. Is she here? This is kind of a little bit cheating. Okay, so she's there, right? A little bit of scouting, right? We'll just say our scout identified. Our scout went in for us, right? He scaled the walls at night. We're getting a little autosave here, which is good in case I break the campaign. But we're going to attack these bitches. Fuck you, Southern Empire. We're going to break the rules. At least as soon as one of them stands still for one of us. Come here. Yeah, they're being chased by the Northern Empire. Maybe we can help the Northern Empire kill these fucks. Music sounds ominous. This is just random background music. I'm here to deliver my demands. Die. See, so it won't let us. And I can't do it this way. I think, let me just see. No. Even if I expend the maximum, it doesn't work. Oops, and I just used so much influence, I'm not even going to be able to gather much of an army. Cole won't be stopped, right? He is a man possessed at this stage. He's out of his mind, enraged. It's village raiding time. Fuck you, bitches. We're taking this city, and we're getting justice on Rua no matter what, right? We have now declared war unilaterally on the Southern Empire, right? We're ruining our relationships with all kinds of villagers, and probably look at we're out of influence. In fact, we have negative influence, And fuck you bitches, we're just coming in here like a fucking, like a possessed, angry elephant mother who just watched their elephant babies get killed by a poacher, right? We're out for fucking vengeance here. Nothing is gonna stop Cole from getting his revenge, even if it means fucking carnage within this campaign. So now we're at war with 5 kingdoms here, right? As the Southern Empire scatters, these armies are scattering outside the city here, and I don't blame them. Right now, of course, we're role-playing, but Cole is just, he is red hot to the touch, angry, right? We're gonna siege this bitch down, and we're gonna fucking take our prey. Now, I think we have enough influence to pull this off. There's some chance that we just run out of steam here and can't do this, or even worse, that we lose, right? We could definitely lose this battle, but we're certainly going to try. All right, let's build, let's fast forward this a bit. We're going to build 2, maybe we'll build 3 trebuchets or 2 trebuchets and a fire catapult, because we have to blow up their fire catapults before we make this assault. And twists and turns in the campaign. In fact, let me sit up, right? This episode is just firing up here. This is going to be an exceptionally long episode here. I like adding some personality to these characters, right? Cole he's an intelligent fella, right? But he loved his sister, right? And he saw this vile Rua first try to undermine her authority, then ruined her confidence with infighting, and then finally assassinated her, right? Just the ultimate betrayal. And we're gonna right these wrongs. Now, I don't actually know if Rua is gonna physically appear on our rosters, right? Like as a prisoner, but I don't care. We'll do a little fancy editing, right? Rua is gonna be in our prison, right? She's going to be in our possession if we take this city. We know she's in there right now. We're sieging it. She's not going to escape, right? We've got all kinds of scouts like in the woods and shit like that to make sure this vile traitor doesn't get out. And we're going to blow this fucking city up. In fact, I think we're going to raise this city to the ground. We are going to come through here basically like actually, you know what it reminds me of? If you guys have seen the movie Usual Suspects with Kaiser Sose, that's what we're going to do here, right? Where he's just this ultimate savage, almost maniacal psychopath. That's the state of mind that Cole is in right now. And, you know, woe be those that stand in the way, right? These poor defenders here are about to face some wrath. I'm actually mad right now, fellas. I know that sounds funny. It's just a game, but I'm getting into character. I'm a very passionate fella. My eyes are kind of wide right now. I'm role-playing, right? And I'm getting into my role here. I'm imagining how angry I would be if this gal was in here, this assassin of our family, you know, just this total fucking usurping assassin fuck, and she's hiding within this city, right? Just enraged. Kill them all.
Kill them all!
So we still have to close the deal here, right? We've got lots of troops though. We've got a huge amount of archers too. We're gonna blow the enemy right off these fucking walls. These walls are ours. We're gonna set up these ladders as soon as we can. We have 1 siege tower. Hopefully it makes it, right? They've got fire catapults and whatnot. But we're going to apply pressure at least at these 2 points hard. I can't quite tell what's going on here. And we have so many units. Like when I click it's like 300 in this division. Fuck you. Fucking push our ladder away. that guy paid for it with the javelin right to the head. All right. Charge these bitches, right? I want these guys aggressively attacking. I want this city to be under hellfire here, right? We want this to be the most ferocious assault. I don't know why it's zoomed in like this. You see how close try to fix this real quick. It looks like it's the maximum distance. I don't know. It's not normal. I apologize for this. I don't know how to fix that. It's not game breaking. We're just gonna roll with it. But it seems like I'm zoomed in here for the third person perspective. It's kind of strange. Oh, they got a fire catapult over here. Probably aiming for our ram. Motherfuckers. Hey, you're plainly visible. Yeah, you're dead. This gal in the catapult is plainly visible. Just gets drilled. Just need one more shot and she'll be down. Of course, they'll just get a replacement, but It's very tempting. She's just standing there hitting us with fucking fire catapults. Damn it. Oh, I'm just barely missing. One last shot. I don't know how I missed with those 4 shots. All the fucking javelins are just sticking in the wood. Alright, never mind. That won't matter much. We'll get some archers spread out over there too. Maybe those guys can shoot her off her fucking catapult. These guys, of course, are too fucking stupid to lift the ladder up. Don't worry, I'll do it all, fellas. I got it. You guys just stand there, you fucking mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging fucking dipshits. I'm getting little tiny glitches in the graphics, and this is always one of those balance things. You know, do I really want to use the battle size mod if it's going to cause little glitches? In a gigantic siege like this, having 2,000 units on the battlefield really does start to tax the system. Now, fortunately, well, I spoke too soon. Most of the time it runs at like 4K, right? Like I'm running 4K graphics at 60 frames a second, but you get these little stutters. And I think most of the time that's the AI pathfinding, trying to move hundreds of units around. Alright, this siege tower is going to make it. This motherfucker's to the walls. Let's fucking blow up this side, right? This is where we're going to get our access. Let's get a big old archer division over here. It's one of these little micro siege towers. They look funny. Alright, get over here, archers. The first and second are already by the other ladders. I think we're just going to fucking have to lead the way here. I may have to do some positioning within the city, right? You just tell them, go here. Go fucking right there. Look at these bitch-ass defenders. You're trying to enrage? Rage him? He already is in rage. Yeah, you're a fucking dead man. They, like, charged us down the fucking siege tower. Fuck you. Kill that fucking guy. How's he not dying? Jesus, these enemies are tough. Get up there. These fucking retards are getting stuck on the ladder. Stuck on the siege tower. Come with me. I'll do it all, fellas. I'll just drag you on up here. You guys are fucking too indolent, too stupid to get up here. The enemy's coming down the siege tower more than we're coming up it. Get out of my fucking way. Nothing is gonna stop me. I'm possessed in this episode. Even if I have to kill all these defenders myself. Fuck you. Get up here. I don't know why my units are taking forever. Here we go. Finally, they pushed away. I said charge, motherfuckers. Why aren't they charging? There should be like hundreds of guys. There we go. Pour up these fucking stairs. Pick up some javelins here. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, what do we got here? We got, it says 500 defenders by the gate. So the enemy has just a gigantic amount of defenders inside. Let's get some archers spread out here. They've got a bunch of guys in the hallway here. Let's get these guys down here in the courtyard. That guy got hit in the neck and he did a little turtle hop as he was dying. I'll definitely be slow-moing that shit. That was hilarious looking. Get up here. Oh, I see what's going on. They're archers and they're waiting to shoot. So here's what we're going to have to do with these guys. We're going to have to tell these guys to fucking hold fire. Stupid fucks. They're just going to stand there and shoot. I mean, right now it's okay because we're being attacked here. But I want these guys pushing through here, right? Get up here. Get the 5th and 6th up here. I want these lines fucking up here shooting at the enemy. Now I'm getting UI issues. Nothing is stopping Cole here in this situation. Get the fuck up here. Hold fire. There we go. All of them roared and started pouring up here. Finally. We'll see if it stalls out completely. You guys, of course, can feel free to add feedback on this. I love the battle size mod, having these absolutely huge slaughtered slugfests against 2,000 enemy forces. Every once in a while you'll get it. Usually it happens during siege, but every once in a while this will happen during a battle where you get little stutters, and they're periodic, right? Obviously it's not every second, otherwise it would completely ruin the siege. But these things it's sort of a penalty you pay for having so many units on the battlefield. Yeah, we're just gonna crush our way through this city, just like this, right? You're getting these little tiny stutters. I'm gonna play with it in this episode. I'm not gonna like save scum and reload this. I have to do that every once in a while if it freezes out. But this is, we got some militia trying to get to the walls. I don't think so, fellas. We're removing heads. I'll tear your limbs. At least he sounds like, or at least he looks like he would say it like a badass. It's always funny when there's a little militia. It's some little tiny bowl haircutted fucking dipshit with a bad mustache. I'll tear your limbs. Running up to like a Khan's guard, and of course they get butchered in one shot. I'll tear your limbs. Oh shit. The enemy has a massive amount of defense forces over here on this central circle. Let's get forces. Oh shit, this is enemy forces right here. Fucking assholes. You're gonna enrage Cole. Very bad decision. You're fucking dead, man. Fucking stomped and kicked. I'm gonna cut my way through these defenders. We're not getting stopped. Nothing is stopping me. I'm fighting like a possessed man in this episode. You just like enter wild man territory. You know, a little side story. We don't have to be completely insane in this episode. Now we got like a clusterfuck up here. Let's get some of these guys down in the courtyard. I'm a maniacal dodgeball player. I'm actually violently competitive at dodgeball. I think it's the primal thing, right? You're like literally trying to hit somebody with an object. It brings out my inner chimpanzee. And I have a cannon of a throwing arm. I'm 6'2", you know, a good solid 210. And I've played baseball, softball my whole life, and I obliterate people at dodgeball. It's I don't have to be humble about it. It's a mangling, right? And I don't move as well as I used to when I was 20. But guys that are standing on the other side cower in fear, right? When I start unloading windmill fucking fireball dodgeballs, that's not the point really. The point is that I am a ferocious dodgeball player. I'm out there like trying to hurt people. I lose my mind on the court. I'm just out there trying to fuck guys up. My eyes probably get huge, and just like this siege right now, I'm entering an animal state where it's just like I am violently angry against the enemy right now. Of course, we're role playing still. Every once in a while, I just have this little reminder that we're just playing a game here. Right? Don't kill my wife if she comes in and asks if I would like a cup of tea or something like that. But Cole is entering that state, right? He's in an insane, belligerent, rampaging mode here. His own troops are afraid of him. I'm going to cut some of these fucking militia down here. Insolently trying to resist. All we're trying to do is destroy your entire city. We're razing this city to the ground, too. Nothing is going to be left, right? Unfortunately, you can't completely raze a city to the ground in Bannerlord, right? In some games, you can just remove it from the map. That would be a really interesting aspect. But we're certainly, what's the option? Devastate? We're definitely devastating this fucking city. And this assault here, this campaign, this little, whatever you want to call it, mini campaign of Cole, his first little command, is effectively his coming of age, right? I know he's already of age, but what I mean is as a commander, right? He's a wild-eyed, crazy, violent commander, but he's getting the job done, right? And even though some of his subordinates, some of his commanders and captains are concerned, you know, they're not sure they want to hang out with the guy at camp at night, especially once he starts drinking. But they're also eager to follow him because success is being plowed ahead of this guy's savage acts, right? And anytime you're having success, even if you're a maniac, people follow you. Here we go. Devastate. The troops sweep through the city, taking whatever loot they like and setting fire to the rest. I fucking love that verbiage. You can almost just picture it. Guys with torches rampaging through the city. Now, of course, you deplore all the rape and shit that they would do, but we're role-playing here. We'll say all the women were let free except Ruwa. Where is she? She's not in here. Well, she's going to be in our possession at some point or other. Right? We're gonna make it happen here. Some fancy editing. She was in there before we started that siege. She's not getting away, and we have obviously very clear intentions for her. Says she's at Ayakis, so she's doing a little black magic teleporting here. None of that shit's gonna matter at all. We'll do a cutscene or two to explain exactly what happened here. And I think we'll wrap this episode up, right? A very successful episode here for Cole as he achieves his revenge. Of course, if you want to see more from this campaign, fellas, you want to subscribe. More from the channel. Obviously, you want to subscribe, hit that notification button. We're going to check this city out, the ruins of this burned out city. Please comment and like and all that kind of stuff if you feel like it. I appreciate you, fellas, and I will see you guys next time.